The city held its breath. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the very buildings themselves were waiting for something to break the silence. The streets, usually bustling with life, were eerily quiet, and the only sound was the distant hum of traffic, a constant reminder of the city's restless energy. A suffocating blanket of humid air pressed down on the city, mirroring the tension that crackled in the briefing room. The atmosphere was electric, charged with the unspoken fears and hopes of those gathered. Every breath felt heavy, every movement deliberate, as if the weight of the city's fate rested on their shoulders.
Salvatore the Viper Rizzo, a name that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened criminals. His reputation was built on a foundation of fear and violence, a legacy of bloodshed that had left an indelible mark on the city.
Detective Jack Hawkeye Barnes, a man hardened by years on the force, stared at the image projected on the wall, a face etched with the cruel indifference of a predator. Jack's eyes, sharp and unyielding, reflected the countless battles he had fought in the name of justice. He knew Rizzo well, perhaps too well, and the scars of their previous encounters were etched deep into his soul. His nemesis. A ghost story whispered in hushed tones in the darkest corners of the city. Rizzo was more than just a criminal. He was a specter, a shadow that loomed over every alley and backstreet. His influence was pervasive, his reach seemingly endless, and his name was spoken with a mix of fear and reverence.
This time it's personal. The stakes had never been higher, and the lines between duty and vengeance had never been more blurred. For Jack, this was more than just another case. It was a battle for his very soul.
Beside him, his partner and lover, Detective Sarah Ace Walker, exuded an icy calm, her eyes sharp as she analyzed the blueprints of Rizzo's heavily fortified mansion. Sarah's mind was a fortress of logic and precision, her every thought a calculated move in the deadly game they were about to play. She was the perfect counterbalance to Jack's fiery determination, her cool demeanor a steadying force in the storm. Her cool exterior couldn't hide the flicker of concern that crossed her face as she met Jack's gaze. They shared a silent understanding, a bond forged in the crucible of countless missions and the unspoken promise to protect each other at all costs. They both knew this mission was different. The air was thick with the unspoken realization that this could be their last stand, the final chapter in a story written in blood and sacrifice. Across the table sat Rookie Officer Danny Rookie Malone, his face a mask of nervous excitement. Danny's youthful enthusiasm was a stark contrast to the seasoned veterans around him. He was eager, almost too eager to prove himself, his eyes wide with the thrill of the unknown. He was young, hungry to prove himself, and completely oblivious to the storm that awaited them. The weight of the mission had not yet settled on his shoulders, and he still saw the world through the lens of idealism and ambition. Rounding off the team was Chief Miller, his face a weathered map of countless battles fought and won in the concrete jungle. Chief Miller's presence was a testament to the resilience and determination of the force. His eyes, though tired, still burned with the fire of a man who had dedicated his life to the pursuit of justice. His gaze, hard and unforgiving, settled on each of them. He knew the risks, the dangers that lay ahead, and he was prepared to lead his team into the heart of darkness.
This isn't a bust. It's a war. The words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the gravity of their mission. This was not just about taking down a criminal. It was about reclaiming their city from the grip of fear and violence. We take Rizzo down, we end his reign of terror. The plan was simple, yet fraught with peril. Every detail had been meticulously planned, every contingency considered, but the unpredictability of the human element loomed large. We fail, this city drowns in blood and bullets. The consequences of failure were unthinkable, a descent into chaos and anarchy that would leave the city scarred and broken. This is our last stand. The team knew that this was their moment, the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice. They were ready to face the darkness, to confront the evil that had plagued their city for far too long. Together they would fight, and together they would either triumph or fall.
The air in the armory was thick with anticipation. Every officer in the room could feel the weight of the upcoming mission pressing down on them, a palpable tension that seemed to make the very air heavier. The metallic scent of gun oil and the hushed whispers of tactical commands filled the room. Each officer was focused, their minds running through the plan over and over, ensuring every detail was perfect. Jack checked his sidearm, a familiar weight against his hip, a ritual he'd performed 1,000 times. The click of the magazine sliding into place was a comforting sound, a reminder of the countless times he had prepared for moments like this. But tonight, the weight felt heavier, the metal colder, the stakes were higher, the risks greater. He could feel the gravity of the situation in every fiber of his being. Across the room, Sarah was a study in controlled motion. Her face was a mask of concentration, every movement deliberate and precise. Each piece of her tactical gear was fitted with practiced ease, her movements fluid and precise. She had done this countless times before, and it showed in her every action. She moved with the grace of a predator, lethal and beautiful. Her confidence was palpable, a stark contrast to the nervous energy that filled the room. Jack watched her for a moment, a flicker of warmth pushing back the chill that had settled in his gut. Her unwavering resolve was a beacon of strength in the midst of the tension. He drew strength from her unwavering resolve. It was a reminder that they were not alone in this, that they had each other to rely on. Rookie fidgeted with his gear, his nervous energy a stark contrast to the seasoned calm of the two veterans. His hands trembled slightly as he adjusted his equipment, a clear sign of his inexperience. Jack remembered that feeling, the adrenaline-fueled cocktail of fear and excitement. It was a rite of passage, a moment every officer had to go through.
Stick close, kid, and watch your corners. The advice was simple, but it carried the weight of years of experience.
Chief Miller entered the room, his presence demanding attention. His eyes scanned the room, taking in the faces of his team, each one a mix of determination and anxiety.
We hit them hard. We hit them fast. No hesitation. His voice was firm, leaving no room for doubt or second-guessing. Rizzo's boys won't show mercy. Neither do we. The words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the danger they were about to face. The team shared a look of solidarity, a silent promise to have each other's backs no matter what. They knew the risks, but they also knew the importance of their mission. The tactical map laid out before them was a maze of streets and buildings, each one a potential threat. They pointed out key locations, discussing strategies and contingencies. Jack loaded his ammunition with a determined expression. Every bullet was a reminder of the seriousness of their task, a tool to protect and serve. Sarah adjusted her helmet, her eyes steely with resolve. She was ready, and so was the rest of the team. As they moved out of the armory, each step was filled with purpose and determination. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead, united in their mission. Outside, the night sky was filled with storm clouds gathering on the horizon, an ominous backdrop to the task at hand. It was the calm before the storm, a moment of quiet before the chaos. The police vehicles were lined up, engines revving ready for action. The team climbed in, their minds focused on the mission ahead. Jack's face was a mask of determination, his eyes reflecting the weight of the mission. He knew what was at stake, and he was ready to do whatever it took. As they drove into the night, the headlights of their vehicles cut through the darkness, a beacon of hope in the midst of uncertainty. They were ready to face the storm, together. The final shot was of the team's determined faces, united and resolute. They were ready for whatever lay ahead, ready to face the storm and come out the other side.
The mansion loomed before them, a dark silhouette against the backdrop of the city's glittering skyline. A fortress of secrets, built on a foundation of blood and money. Jack led the way, his steps silent and sure, his senses on high alert. They moved like phantoms, shadows dancing in the darkness, their movements a testament to years of training and honed instinct. Sarah, a whisper of movement at his side, covered their flank. Her eyes, sharp as shards of ice, scanned the shadows, searching for any sign of movement. Behind them, Rookie followed, his every step a testament to his training, his youthful enthusiasm tempered by the grim reality of their situation. They breached the perimeter, their movements swift and silent, a well-oiled machine of precision and lethal efficiency. Jack felt a surge of adrenaline, the familiar rush of anticipation before a storm. He lived for these moments, for the razor's edge of danger, for the chance to bring justice to a city teetering on the brink.
Rookie, his face now a mask of grim determination, fought with the ferocity of a cornered animal, his initial fear replaced by a cold, hard focus. The transformation was palpable. Gone was the hesitant, unsure novice, replaced by a warrior who had found his purpose in the chaos. His eyes, once wide with trepidation, now narrowed with a steely resolve. Each movement was deliberate, each action a testament to his newfound courage. The Rookie had become a force to be reckoned with, his every step echoing with the promise of retribution. Sarah, a whirlwind of lethal grace, took down two men with a single burst from her SMG. Her movements were a deadly ballet, her aim true, her focus absolute. She moved with the fluidity of a seasoned dancer, each step a calculated maneuver, each shot a precise strike. The battlefield was her stage, and she performed with an elegance that belied the deadly nature of her actions. Her eyes, cold and unyielding, scanned the room for the next target, her mind a symphony of tactical calculations. In the midst of the chaos, she was a beacon of deadly efficiency, her presence a harbinger of doom for those who stood in her way. He had to get to Rizzo. This time, the Viper wouldn't slither away. The chase was on, and every second counted. His heart pounded in his chest, a relentless drumbeat driving him forward. The corridors seemed to stretch endlessly, each turn a potential ambush, each shadow a possible threat. But he couldn't afford to slow down. Not now, not when he was so close. The memory of Rizzo's past escapes fueled his determination, each one a bitter reminder of the stakes. This time there would be no escape. This time, justice would be served. Shadows danced and flickered in the strobe-like flashes of gunfire. The air was thick with the acrid scent of gunpowder and the metallic tang of blood. Jack felt a searing pain as a bullet grazed his arm, but he pushed through it, his focus unwavering. The room was a maelstrom of chaos, each burst of gunfire a punctuation mark in the symphony of violence. The smoke hung heavy, obscuring vision and adding to the disorienting effect. But Jack's mind was clear. He had a mission, and nothing would deter him. The pain was a distant echo, a reminder of his mortality, but it did not slow him. He moved with purpose, each step a defiance of the chaos around him. Jack and his team moved like wraiths, their movements a blur as they engaged Rizzo's men. Years of training kicked in, muscle memory taking over as they navigated the labyrinthine corridors, their every shot precise, every move calculated. The team was a well-oiled machine, each member a cog in the intricate mechanism of their operation. Communication was minimal, a series of hand signals and nods, each one understood implicitly. They had trained for this, prepared for every eventuality. The corridors were a maze, but they moved through them with the confidence of those who had walked them 1,000 times in their minds. Each encounter was swift and decisive, their enemies falling before they had a chance to react. The mansion erupted in a cacophony of gunfire. The silence of the night was shattered by the deafening roar of automatic weapons fire and the staccato bursts of handguns. The once serene estate was now a battlefield, each room a microcosm of the larger conflict. The walls, once pristine, were now pockmarked with bullet holes, the air thick with the smell of cordite. The sounds of battle were a constant, a relentless barrage that echoed through the halls. Amidst the chaos, the team moved with a singular purpose, their objective clear. The mansion was a fortress, but they were determined to breach it. Each step forward was a victory, each fallen enemy a testament to their resolve. The night was theirs, and they would not be denied.
Jack burst through the double doors, his gun leading the way. The room was opulent, a testament to Rizzo's ill-gotten wealth, and there in the shadows stood Rizzo, a cruel smirk playing on his lips.
"Hawkeye," Rizzo drawled, his voice smooth as silk. "I was expecting you."
Time seemed to slow down. Jack saw the glint of amusement in Rizzo's eyes, felt the weight of every life lost, every case unsolved, every failure that had led him to this moment. He saw the faces of victims, their pleas for justice echoing in his ears.
"It ends tonight, Rizzo," Jack growled, his voice raw with suppressed fury. He raised his gun, his finger tightening on the trigger.
But before he could fire, a figure lunged from the shadows, tackling Rizzo to the ground. It was Sarah. She fought with the ferocity of a tigress, protecting her